Close your eyes. Let the weight of the day begin to dissolve like sugar in warm water. Let go of the lists, the schedules, the conversations that echo in the quiet rooms of your mind. There is nowhere else you need to be, nothing else you need to do, but rest here, in this moment, and listen. Imagine, if you will, that you are standing at the edge of an ancient forest in Japan. The air is cool and smells of damp earth, of moss, and of the sharp, clean scent of cedar trees, known here as sugi. The sun is low in the sky, casting long, golden fingers of light that pierce the dense canopy above, dappling the forest floor in a shifting mosaic of light and shadow. The world of humming cars and bustling streets feels a world away, a forgotten dream. Here, the only sound is the gentle, rhythmic whisper of the wind as it moves through the high branches, a sound like the deep, slow breathing of the earth itself. You feel a pull, a gentle invitation to step forward, onto a path that winds its way into the heart of the woods. The path is not paved or harsh, but worn smooth by the passage of countless feet over countless years. It is covered in a soft carpet of fallen leaves and pine needles, which cushion your every step, muffling the sound of your approach. You begin to walk, slowly, deliberately, with no destination in mind other than to simply be here, in this place of profound peace. As you walk, you begin to notice the details. Towering cryptomeria trees, their trunks thick as ancient columns, reach for the sky, their bark a tapestry of greens and grays, textured with clinging moss that feels like velvet to the touch. Ferns unfurl in delicate spirals from the rich, dark soil. Here and there, a single, perfect mushroom pushes its way through the leaf litter, a small, silent testament to the life that teems just beneath the surface. You might see a deer, its coat the color of dried leaves, watching you with large, liquid eyes before turning and vanishing silently back into the trees, a fleeting ghost of the forest. There is a feeling in this place, a presence, that is more than just the sum of its parts. It is not an empty quiet, but a full and resonant silence. You feel as though you are not alone. It is a feeling of being observed, not with judgment, but with a deep, abiding, ancient curiosity. Every rustle of leaves, every creak of a branch, every glint of light on a dewdrop feels significant, a part of a silent conversation happening all around you. This feeling, this presence, is the first whisper of what is known as kami. The word kemi is often translated as God or spirit, but these words are too small, too narrow to contain its true meaning. Kami are not distant, transcendent beings ruling from a faraway heaven. They are here, woven into the very fabric of the world you are walking through. The ancient, gnarled cedar tree to your left, with a thick rope of woven rice straw tied around its trunk, is a kami. The rushing stream you can hear in the distance, its water clear and cold as it tumbles over smooth gray stones, is a kami. The mountain that looms on the horizon, its peak shrouded in mist, is a kami. But kami can be more than just elements of nature. They can be the spirits of revered ancestors, watching over their descendants with loving care. They can be the essence of concepts, like growth, or creativity, or courage. They are the forces, the energies, the presences that inspire a sense of awe, of wonder, of reverence. They are what makes a place or a thing feel sacred. And as you walk deeper into this forest, you can feel them all around you, in the cool air on your skin, in the earthy scent you breathe, in the profound stillness that settles in your heart. You are walking through a world that is alive, sentient, and divine. The path begins to climb gently. Ahead, through a break in the trees, you see it. Standing at the entrance to a clearing is a simple, yet profoundly beautiful structure. A large gate, consisting of 2 tall pillars with a crosspiece on top, and another straight beam just below it. It is painted a brilliant vermilion, a stark and beautiful contrast to the deep greens and browns of the forest. This is a Torii, a sacred gateway. Its purpose is to mark the transition from the profane, everyday world to the sacred space of a Shinto shrine. It is a doorway between two states of being. You pause before it, as is tradition. You feel the change in the air, a subtle shift in the energy of the place. The whispers of the forest seem to coalesce here, to focus into a more potent silence. You bow your head slightly, a simple gesture of respect for the kami who reside within. It is not a gesture of subservience, but one of humility and gratitude, an acknowledgement that you are a guest in a holy place. And then, you step through. The world on the other side of the torii feels clearer. The light seems softer, the air purer. The path is now wider, covered in fine, white gravel that crunches softly under your feet. The sound is calming, rhythmic, and it encourages you to slow your pace even further, to be mindful of each and every step. This path is called the Sando *, the sacred approach. Raking the gravel is an act of purification, a meditation that smooths away chaos and creates a space of serene order. To your side, you see a small, elegant pavilion with a gracefully curved roof. Beneath it is a stone basin filled to the brim with clear, cool water. A steady stream flows from the mouth of a sculpted stone dragon, replenishing the basin in a continuous, gentle murmur. Long-handled bamboo ladles rest across the top. This is the Temizuya, a place for ritual purification before approaching the main shrine. Purity is a cornerstone of Shinto. Not a moral purity in the sense of sin, but a state of spiritual and physical cleanliness. Impurities, or *kegare*, are things like dirt, disease, and death, things that disrupt the natural harmony and flow of life. Cleansing oneself is a way of washing away this spiritual dust, of restoring your own natural brightness and harmony before communing with the kami. This act of cleansing has its roots in the very creation of the world, in the foundational myths of Shinto. Let your mind drift back to the beginning of time, and listen to the story. In the beginning, there was no heaven and no earth, only a formless, oily chaos, like a vast, silent ocean. From this chaos, a sound began to emerge, the sound of something growing, something becoming. And from this becoming, the lighter, purer elements rose up to form the high plane of heaven, Takamagahara*, while the heavier, denser elements sank to form the dark, murky earth below. In the heavens, the first kami came into being, silent and formless, and then they hid themselves away. Generations of kami followed, until at last 2 divine siblings were born. The male kami, Izanagi, which means he who invites, and the female kami, Izanami, she who invites. The elder kami in heaven gave Izanagi and Izanami a great task. They were to stand on the floating bridge of heaven, which connected the celestial realm to the unformed world below, and give shape and substance to the earth. They were given a jeweled spear called Ame no Nuboko. Standing on the bridge, looking down at the swirling, chaotic brine, they dipped the tip of the spear into the ocean. They stirred, and when they lifted the spear, the salty drops that fell from its tip coagulated and formed the first island, Onogoro, the spontaneously formed island. Izanagi and Izanami descended from the heavens to this new island. They built a grand palace and a sacred pillar. They decided to become husband and wife, to join together and populate this new land with more sekami and with the islands of Japan themselves. They performed a marriage ritual, walking around the sacred pillar in opposite directions. When they met, Izanami, the female kamiak, spoke first in greeting. Their first children were born imperfect, and the elder kami in heaven told them that it was because the woman had spoken first during the ritual, disrupting the natural harmony. So Izanagi and Izanami performed the ritual again. This time, when they met, Izanagi spoke first. And from their union, The beautiful islands of Japan were born, one by one, along with countless kami of the mountains, the rivers, the trees, and the winds. Their final child was the asterisk kami of fire, Kagatsuchi. His birth was so fierce and fiery that it terribly burned his mother, Izanami, and she fell ill. As she lay dying, even more kami were born from her tears and her suffering. And then, tragically, she departed from the world of the living and descended to Yomi no Kuni, the land of the dead, a place of darkness and shadow. Izanagi was overcome with grief. He could not bear the loss of his beloved wife. In his rage, he drew his sword and struck down the newborn fire kami, and from his blood, even more kami were born. But this brought him no comfort. He resolved to follow Izanami to the underworld and bring her back. He journeyed to the entrance of Yomi, a dark and foreboding cave. At the gate, he called out to her. "My beloved wife," he pleaded, "the lands we were creating are not yet finished. Please, come back with me." From the shadows within, Izanami's voice answered, faint and sorrowful. "My dearest husband, why did you not come sooner? I have already eaten the food of this land. I cannot return, but since you have come all this way for me, I will ask the asterisk kami of Yomi for permission to leave. You must promise me one thing. You must not look at me. You must wait here in the darkness." Izanagi agreed and waited. He waited for a very long time. The silence stretched on, thick and heavy. Impatience and worry gnawed at him. He could wait no longer. He broke off a tooth from the sacred comb in his hair, lit it as a torch, and stepped inside the gate. In the flickering light he saw her, but it was not the beautiful Izanami he knew. Her body was decaying, infested with maggots, and from her form, the 8 thunder deities had been born. She was a horrifying vision of death and decay. "You have shamed me," she shrieked, her voice filled with rage and humiliation at being seen in this state. She sent the hags of the underworld to chase him. Izanagi fled in terror. He threw his headdress behind him, and it turned into a patch of wild grapes, which the hags stopped to devour. He then threw his comb, which sprouted into a thicket of bamboo shoots, slowing them down again. As he reached the pass between the land of the living and the land of the dead, he found 3 peaches and threw them at his pursuers, who finally retreated, for peaches were a fruit of life and purity. Izanami herself came after him then. Izanagi, with all his strength, rolled a massive boulder to block the entrance to Yomi, sealing the passage between the 2 worlds forever. From behind the boulder, Izanami cried out a terrible curse. "My beloved husband, because you have done this, I will take 1,000 lives from your land every day." Izanagi replied, his voice heavy with sorrow. "Then, my beloved wife, I will ensure that 1,500 lives are born every day." And so, the eternal cycle of life and death was set, and Izanagi, now separated from his wife forever, felt deeply polluted by his contact with the land of the dead. The experience had covered him in the impurity, the asterisk, kigare asterisk, of death. He traveled to a river to cleanse himself. As he cast off his clothes and his ornaments, each item he dropped became a new kami. He then stepped into the river water, washing away the filth of the underworld. This act of purification, this misogi, was profoundly powerful. As he washed his left eye, the most brilliant and beautiful kami of all was born, Amaterasu Omikami, the great goddess of the sun. She was so radiant that she filled the world with light and warmth. As he washed his right eye, another asterisk kami was born, Tsukuyomi no Mikoto, the god of the moon, whose cool silver light governed the night. And as he washed his nose, a third and final powerful kami was born, Susanoo no Mikoto, the valiant but tempestuous god of the sea and storms. Izanagi was overjoyed by the birth of these 3 noble children. He gave Amaterasu his sacred bead necklace and tasked her with ruling the high plane of heaven. He gave Tsukuyomi rule over the realm of the night. And he gave Susanoo dominion over the seas. And it is here, at the asterisk Temizuya asterisk, that you echo Izanagi's sacred act. you pick up one of the bamboo ladles. The wood is smooth and cool in your hand. You scoop up a ladle full of the clear, flowing water. The sound is a gentle splash. First, you pour a little water over your left hand, cleansing it. Then, you switch the ladle to your cleansed left hand and pour water over your right. The water is cool and refreshing. You then pour a small amount of water into the palm of your left hand and bring it to your lips to rinse your mouth, being careful not to touch the ladle directly. You spit the water out discreetly beside the basin. This cleanses your speech. Finally, you hold the ladle vertically, allowing the remaining water to run down the handle, cleansing the ladle itself for the next person. You place it back where you found it. The ritual is simple, quiet, and deeply meaningful. You feel lighter, clearer. The spiritual dust of the outside world has been washed away. You are ready to approach the heart of the shrine. You continue along the gravel path. It leads you to a larger, more imposing building. This is the Hayden asterisk, or the Hall of Worship. It is a beautiful structure of natural wood, with a sweeping, curved roof of cedar bark or tile. It is open at the front, allowing you to see within but not to enter. The air here is thick with reverence, with the accumulated prayers and wishes of generations. In front of the Hayden stands a large wooden box, like a chest with a slatted top. This is the Saizen Bako, the offering box. Hanging above it, from a thick, colorful rope, is a large bell or a set of bells. This is where you offer your respects to the resident Salskemi, Salsgurals, of the shrine. The process is a meditation in itself. You approach the hall. You offer a small coin, perhaps a 5-yen coin as the Japanese word for it. Kowo is a homophone for good fortune or fate. You toss it gently into the box. The clatter of the coin is a small, sharp sound in the great stillness. Then, you reach up and take hold of the thick rope. You shake it firmly, causing the bell to ring out, a clear, resonant tone that shimmers in the air. The purpose of the bell is not to ask for something, but to gently announce your presence to the kami, to greet them with a beautiful sound. After ringing the bell, you perform the core of the prayer. You bow deeply twice, your back straight, a gesture of profound respect. Then, you bring your hands together in front of your chest and clap twice. The sound is sharp, clean, and joyful. This clap is said to be an expression of happiness at being in the presence of the kami, and it aligns your spirit with theirs. With your hands still together, you hold your silent prayer in your heart. It may be a prayer of gratitude for the beauty of the forest, for the peace you feel. It may be a wish for the health and happiness of your loved ones. Or it may simply be a moment of silent, open-hearted communion, with no words at all. Shinto prayer is not about petitioning a distant god, but about aligning your own spirit, your own kokoro or heart-mind, with the spirit of the kami and the natural world, seeking to restore harmony within yourself. When your prayer is complete, you offer one final deep bow. The ritual is finished. You take a step back, feeling a sense of connection, of having participated in a timeless tradition. From this spot, you can see past the Hayden Damen to the most sacred building of the shrine complex, the Honden where the spirit of the kami is believed to reside, often within a sacred object like a mirror or a sword, called a Shintai. This building is usually smaller and closed to the public, a private sanctuary for the deity. Its sanctity is often marked by Shimenawa thick ropes of twisted rice straw from which white, zigzag-shaped paper streamers, called shide, hang. These ropes demarcate a purified, sacred space, a home for the divine. The story of the sacred mirror, often housed in the most important shrines, leads us back to Amaterasu, the glorious goddess of the sun. For a time, she ruled the heavens in peace and light. Her brother, the moon god Tsukuyomi, ruled the night. But her other brother, Susanoo, the storm god, was wild and discontent. He was supposed to rule the seas, but instead he raged and wept, causing the mountains to wither and the rivers to dry up with the force of his sorrow. He wanted to go to the land of his mother, Izanami, to the underworld. Izanagi, his father, was furious at his destructive behavior and banished him. Before leaving, Susanoo said he wished to say goodbye to his sister, Amaterasu. He ascended to the high plane of heaven with such force that the earth shook. Amaterasu was suspicious of his intentions. She armed herself, tying her hair into knots, slinging a quiver of 1,000 arrows onto her back, and holding a mighty bow. She met him, ready for battle. "Why have you come here with such violence?" she demanded. Susanoo insisted he meant no harm, that he only wished to say farewell. To prove his sincerity, he proposed a contest. They would each take an object from the other and create new kami from it. If the asterisk kami born from his object were female, it would prove his intentions were pure. Amaterasu agreed. She took his 10-span sword, broke it into 3 pieces, rinsed them in the true well of heaven, and crunched them in her mouth. From the mist of her breath, 3 beautiful female kami were born. Then Susanoo took the long string of 500 sacred Magatama beads from Amaterasu's hair. He rinsed them, crunched them, and from his breath, 5 strong male kami were born. Because female kami had been born from his sword, Amaterasu declared that his heart was pure. But Susanoo, emboldened by his victory, as the male kami were born from her beads, began to celebrate wildly. His celebration turned to destruction. He broke down the ridges between the celestial rice paddies that Amaterasu had so carefully cultivated. He defiled her sacred hall. He caused chaos and disruption throughout heaven. Amaterasu, at first, was patient, making excuses for her brother's behavior. But the final straw came when, in a fit of rage, Susanoo flayed a heavenly piebald colt and threw its bloody carcass through the roof of Amaterasu's sacred weaving hall, where she and her attendants were weaving the garments of the gods. One of her attendants was so terrified by the sight that she struck herself with her shuttle and died. This was too much. Amaterasu's grief and fear turned to despair. The harmony of heaven had been shattered. She fled and hid herself away in the heavenly rock cave, Amano Iwato, and rolled a great boulder across the entrance, sealing herself inside. Instantly, the world was plunged into darkness. The high plane of heaven and the lands below were without sunlight. An eternal night fell. The crops withered, the people suffered, and the world was filled with the clamor of evil spirits who thrived in the shadows. The 8 million kami of heaven were terrified. They gathered by the banks of the tranquil river of heaven to decide what to do. They knew they had to coax Amaterasu out. The wise Kami Omoikan, the embodiment of intelligence and deliberation, devised a plan. First, they gathered the long singing birds of eternal night, the roosters, and set them to crowing outside the cave. Then, they forged a great and beautiful mirror, the Yata no Kagami, polished to a perfect, shimmering finish. They created a long, beautiful string of 500 Magatama jewels, the Yasakani no Magatama. They performed sacred divinations, using the shoulder bone of a deer and the wood of a cherry tree. They hung the mirror and the jewels on a sacred sakaki tree which they placed directly in front of the cave entrance. Then, the final part of the plan began. The cheerful and bold goddess, Ame no Uzume, overturned a sounding tub, jumped upon it, and began to dance. She danced with wild abandon, stamping her feet so the tub boomed like a drum. Her dance was so fervent and so comical that her clothes fell away, and the 8 million kami gathered there burst into thunderous, uproarious laughter. The entire plane of heaven shook with their mirth. Inside the cave, in the cold and the dark, Amaterasu heard the commotion. She was puzzled. "I have hidden myself away, and the world should be plunged in sorrow and darkness," she thought. "Why are the asterisk kami so full of laughter and joy?" She crept to the edge of the boulder and called out, "Why is Ame no Uzume dancing, and why are all the asterisk kami laughing when the world is dark?" Uzumi replied, "We rejoice because there is a goddess here more illustrious and beautiful than you." As she spoke, another asterisk kami brought the great mirror forward and held it up to the crack in the cave door. Amaterasu, curious, pushed the boulder open just a little wider to peek out. She saw a reflection of a dazzling, brilliant goddess of light. She had never seen her own reflection before. Fascinated by this beautiful being, she began to emerge from the cave to get a better look. At that moment, the strong-armed kami, Tajikarao, who had been hiding beside the door, grabbed her hand and pulled her out into the open. Another kami quickly stretched a Shimenawa rope across the entrance to the cave, preventing her from ever hiding again. And as Amaterasu stepped fully out of the cave, her light once again flooded the world. The darkness receded, the crops began to grow again, and harmony was restored to both heaven and earth. The evil spirits fled before her radiance. Susanoo was punished for his actions and banished from heaven. He descended to earth, and his story continues with many adventures, including slaying a great 8-headed serpent, but the tale of the cave is the most vital. It teaches of the preciousness of light and life, of the power of community, joy, and even laughter, to overcome darkness and despair. And the sacred mirror, which was instrumental in bringing the light back, became one of the 3 sacred treasures of Japan, a symbol of the sun goddess herself, a physical home for her spirit. As you stand before the shrine, you understand that this is not just a building of wood. It is a story, a connection to the age of the gods. It is a place where the harmony that was restored so long ago is celebrated and maintained. You begin to wander through the shrine grounds. You might see smaller subsidiary shrines dedicated to other kami, perhaps one for Inari, the popular kami of rice, sake, and business, often guarded by statues of foxes or kitsune, who are considered their messengers. You might see a shrine dedicated to Tenjin, the deified spirit of a great scholar, where students come to pray for success in their exams. Shinto is not a monolithic faith, but a rich tapestry of local beliefs and deities, each with their own story and their own place in the community. You notice pieces of paper and small wooden plaques tied to the branches of trees or on designated racks. The papers are omikuji paper fortunes that visitors can receive at the shrine office. If the fortune is good, you might take it home with you. If it is bad, you tie it to a tree branch on the shrine grounds, leaving the bad luck behind for the kami to purify and dissolve. The wooden plaques are called Namra Ima tree. They are small, often with a picture on one side, perhaps of the animal from the zodiac for that year. On the other side, people write their wishes and prayers for the kami to read. A wish for a healthy baby, for a successful business, for a happy marriage. The shrine becomes a living repository of the hopes and dreams of the community, a place where the human and the divine worlds gently touch. This connection isn't confined to the shrine grounds. Shinto is woven into the very rhythm of Japanese life, into the changing of the seasons. It is a faith that celebrates the cyclical nature of existence, the beauty of each moment in the year. Imagine the deep cold of winter giving way to the first warmth of spring, the plum blossoms, then the iconic cherry blossoms, or sakura, burst forth in a breathtaking, ephemeral display. People gather under the trees for hanami or flower viewing parties. This is more than just a picnic. It is a celebration of the transient beauty of life, a concept known as no point bara, no aware. The blossoms are beautiful not just for their color and form, but because they are so fleeting. Their brief, brilliant life reminds us to cherish the present moment. This appreciation for the beauty and impermanence is a deeply Shinto sensibility. Spring is also the time for planting, and festivals are held to pray to the kami of the rice paddies for a bountiful crop. Then comes the heat and humidity of summer. This was traditionally a time of typhoons and disease. Summer festivals, or matsuri, are often lively, energetic affairs designed to ward off these dangers and to purify the community. Imagine a parade, the streets filled with people in light summer kimonos, or kistrai. The air is filled with the sound of drums and flutes. At the center of it all is a asterisk mikoshi, a portable shrine, a gorgeously decorated palanquin for the asterisk kami. Dozens of people carry it on their shoulders, chanting and heaving, parading the asterisk kami through the streets of the town. It is believed that this brings the asterisk kami, chainaches, blessings, and protective power directly to the people and their homes. It is a time of vibrant, communal energy. As the air begins to cool, autumn arrives. The leaves of the maple trees turn fiery shades of red, orange, and gold. This is the season of harvest. The prayers of the spring have been answered. Now is the time for gratitude. Harvest festivals are held to thank the asterisk kami for the rice, the vegetables, the fruits of the earth. Offerings of the first harvest are made at the shrines. There is a sense of satisfaction, of completion, of the community coming together to celebrate the bounty that nature and the asterisk kami have provided. Finally, winter returns. The world grows quiet, blanketed in snow in many parts of Japan. It is a time for introspection, for rest. The year draws to a close. On New Year's Eve, many people will visit a shrine for asterisk Hatsumode asterisk, the first shrine visit of the new year. They go to give thanks for the past year and to pray for health, happiness, and good fortune in the year to come. The shrine is a focal point for the turning of the great wheel of time, a place to mark endings and new beginnings. Life itself is marked by these connections. When a baby is born, they are taken to the local shrine to be placed under the protection of the tutelary Namkami. At certain ages, children are brought to the shrine for the asterisk Shichigo-san festival, the 753 festival, to pray for their healthy growth. Weddings are often held at Shinto shrines, a beautiful ceremony to announce the union to the asterisk kimi. And this connection is not just for grand ceremonies. It is in the small, daily acts. Many traditional homes have a asterisk kamidana asterisk, a shelf, which is a miniature Shinto shrine high on a wall. Here, small offerings of rice, water, and salt are made each day. It is a way of inviting the presence and protection of the asterisk kami directly into the home, a constant, quiet reminder of the sacredness that permeates all of life. You find a quiet bench under the shade of a large maple tree, and you sit for a while, simply breathing. You breathe in the clean, pure air of the shrine. You breathe out the last vestiges of tension from your body. You are not thinking, not analyzing, you are just being. You watch as a priest, dressed in immaculate white robes and a tall black hat, walks slowly and gracefully across the gravel courtyard. His movements are precise, calm, and deliberate. Every action, from sweeping the leaves to preparing offerings, is a form of meditation, a way of maintaining the harmony of this sacred space. You understand now that Shinto is not a religion of strict doctrines and commandments that you must follow. It is a way of feeling, a way of seeing. It is a path, a asterisk michi. It is the way of the kami. It is about finding the divine in a majestic waterfall, but also in a single grain of rice. It is about feeling gratitude for the warmth of the sun on your skin, for the coolness of a breeze, for the gift of another day. It is about striving for sincerity, purity, and harmony in your own heart, and living in a way that respects the harmony of the world around you. It is about recognizing that you are not separate from nature, but an intrinsic part of it, connected to the trees, the rivers, the mountains, and to the endless generations of ancestors who came before you. The sun has sunk lower now, and the golden light is turning to a soft, dusky lavender. The shadows are growing long. It is time to leave. You stand up from the bench and begin your slow walk back along the asterisk sando asterisk, the gravel crunching rhythmically under your feet. As you approach the great vermilion trop gate, you turn for one last look at the shrine. It rests in the growing twilight, a beacon of peace and timeless serenity. You offer one final, grateful bow. Then, you step back through the Toria sting, back from the sacred world, into the everyday. But something has changed. The forest you walk back through no longer feels merely like a collection of trees. You feel the presence of the kami in the ancient cedars more strongly now. You hear their whispers in the wind. The mundane world doesn't feel so mundane anymore. You carry the peace of the shrine with you, a quiet stillness in your heart. You understand that the Toriine is not just a physical gate out there in the world, but also a gateway within yourself, a threshold you can cross any time you wish to connect with that place of inner peace and reverence. The path leads you out of the forest. The air changes, grows warmer. The sounds of the distant world begin to filter back in, but they seem less intrusive now, less demanding. You have brought the silence of the sacred grove back with you, and now, as you lie here, ready for sleep, let that feeling of peace expand within you. Let it fill your mind and your body. Feel the soft, steady rhythm of your own breathing, like the whisper of the wind through the sugi trees. Feel the stillness of the shrine settling over you like a warm, soft blanket. The world of the kami is not a fantasy world, far away. It is this world seen through eyes of wonder and a heart of gratitude. The kami of rest is inviting you now to let go. The kami of dreams is preparing a gentle journey for your mind. There is a deep, abiding harmony in the universe, in the turning of the seasons, in the cycle of day and night, and you are a part of that harmony. Let the story of Amaterasu and the cave remind you that even after the darkest night, the light always returns. The sun will rise again tomorrow, bringing warmth and life, a daily miracle. Let the cleansing water of the Temazuya, wash away any lingering worries or anxieties from your mind. Let them flow away, leaving you clean, clear, and calm. Imagine the sacred gravel of the shrine path, each tiny stone a moment of peace. Imagine the resonant sound of the shrine bell, its vibrations smoothing out any wrinkles of stress in your soul. You are in your own sacred space now, a sanctuary of quiet and rest. You are safe. You are at peace. The whispers of the ancient forest become the whispers of your own gentle thoughts as they drift towards sleep. The deep, resonant silence of the shrine becomes the deep, restorative silence of your slumber. You are connected to the great, breathing life of the world. And as you drift off, you carry with you the profound and simple truth of Shinto, that all of life is sacred, that harmony is our natural state, and that a deep and abiding peace is always waiting for you, just beyond the Torii gate of your own quiet mind. Sleep now. Sleep deeply, and may your dreams be filled with the gentle light of 1,000 suns.